What is a parent trap? These parent traps destroy our happiness and destroy our relationships. A parent trap is a destructive pattern of behavior that parents fall into when they're attempting to control. You got that word? What was it? Control. When you're attempting to control a child's behavior, you fall into these parent traps. Because when attempts to control do not work, parents usually become frustrated. Is that true? And they start to nag, threaten, argue, criticize, blame, shame, intimidate, rescue, and they even rage in order to get compliance. You're not doing your studies, you get in there and you study. I am not going to tolerate any more of these stupid progress reports. Now you get in there and you study, and you're trying to control. And the kid doesn't do it. And the grades don't come up. And it keeps getting worse and worse. And you get what? Desperate. Frustrated. And so you come down in anger, or you start nagging, or you start bribing, or you start threatening. Is this true? Is this what happens? Follow the logic. You rage in order to get compliance, but you don't get compliance. These behaviors are all typical examples of destructive parent trap behaviors that most parents resort to when they're trying to make a child do what the parent knows is best for that child. True or false? Why do you get so upset? Are you upset about the kids down the street? No. The more you love your kids, the more you want to be a good parent, the bigger sucker you are. And the more anxiety you can generate around what you conceive as being a failure on their part. And so we begin to nag and to holler. The universal question is, how do you get your kids to study and do their homework? How do you get them to clean their rooms, pick up? How do you get your kids to give up fighting and quarreling, their bad friends, music and clothes, give up tattoos, green hair, and getting pierced everywhere on their body? Now, your parents go upside down on this. Don't do that. Don't do that to your body. And they really freak out. And it's power. Those kids go out and do it. In your face. In your face. It's my life. I'm going to do what I please, and you can't make me. Anybody ever hear anything like that? Does it sound like the neighbor's kids? What is the nature of man? Now, there seems to be two great philosophical assumptions about the nature of man. On the one hand is the school of thought that says man is a free agent and can choose what he wants to choose in life. That other people really can't prevent him. If he doesn't want to study, he won't. But the idea is that man is and ought to be free. And since man knows what is right and wrong, basically, he should be held accountable for his choices. Therefore, rewards and punishments are justified. Making sense so far? Now, since this person has their free choice and going to make mistakes, there's going to be consequences there. Because they're inexperienced, they'll make plenty of mistakes. And since the parent has this view that it's inevitable because the child is a free agent, they're going to make mistakes, that it's going to be part of the learning process, and we will live with that. We're not going to rant and rave, we're not going to scream, but we are going to tell that child what is right and wrong. And we're going to administer consequences. We're going to forbid them from taking drugs, although we know they can go out and do it if they want. And we can't stop them. We're going to try to tell them don't do it, we forbid it, and we want you to drop your hoodlum friends, but they're going to go with the friends they want and do the things they want to do. Is that true? So there's this school of thought that people are free. We're going to have to live with it. Let's accept it. Let's love them in spite of how stupid they act. Administer consequences. Accept them and administer these consequences so that they learn. And don't allow them to be irresponsible. Now there's another school of thought that says people are innately bad. They will not do what they should do. Therefore, for their behalf, we will force them and make them do what is best for them because they're morons and they don't know. And so we're going to make them study, and we're going to make them have these friends, and we're going to make them do this and make them do that. And when they resist, we're going to force them. Because what we want is good for them. Therefore, we are justified in forcing them because this little moron does not know how important education is, or how important church is, or how important this is. They cannot conceive of what it's like not to have an education. So we're going to hammer them every day. Now, of course, this is impossible. This is mission impossible. You can't make people do stuff. Have you figured that out? You're married, aren't you? Okay, you can't make people do stuff. And that's a fact of life. And because you can't make people do stuff, you get upset. And you feel impotent. And now you get angry. And now you get intimidating. And now you're going to force and hit and get raging mad. This program always ends up in anger and rage. Do you believe me? Misery. It will never work in a million years. So as hard as this other program is, at least it puts the responsibility on the kids for their life instead of the parents assuming the responsibility for the child's life. Now I want to tell you where I was at. I was crazy. I was over here and I was trying to run my kid's life, and it drove me nuts. And it'll drive you nuts. But somewhere in our minds, this is what we're trained to think.